Hello guys and welcome to the Wars and Weapons channel. In my two last videos I mentioned the journeys of gunpowder through China and the Middle East, and I also mentioned a great invention called the muskets that revolutionized warfare forever. And today in this video we're going to talk about the rest of the journeys of gunpowder through Europe and another invention that revolutionized warfare even more than muskets did. So the invention we're talking about today in the gunpowder journey into Europe. So gunpowder managed to find its way to the Middle East. The Ottomans invented muskets to use in wars, and after it declared war on some of the European governments, they didn't have muskets, so they would have easily been defeated. So they decided they're going to adapt muskets as well. So they decided to create their own versions of muskets, which weren't as good as the Ottoman Empire muskets. So they decided that we're losing the arms race, we need something better if we're going to beat the Ottomans in the arms race, which the European leaders sat and they thought, what are we going to do? Which then a bright idea came to their minds to invent muskets with far more power and far more range to be able to shoot the Ottomans from longer range and with more power. So they managed to notice that if they were to make the barrel of the muskets bigger, they can fit more gunpowder in there and put a bigger ball, which means more range. The fact there are more gunpowder in the barrel, there is more gases getting extracted from the gunpowder, and there will be more force pulling the cannon, so increasing its velocity, and meaning it will increase its range. And the bigger ball meant bigger weight, meant bigger force was delivered when it actually struck, which actually was a pretty great idea. It could strike not only one person like the musket, but could wipe out a whole line. So they decided that if they manage to make the barrel of the musket bigger, they can get to such a great result, which led to the inventions of hand cannons, which were a pretty great backfire. Due to the fact it was a big cannon that you would hold in your hand like this, and then you would have to load it, and then you would have something kind of fuse, you had to light it, and then once it would reach the gunpowder, the gunpowder would deflagrate and made a lot of gas and pushed the cannonball out of your hand with pretty fast speed, which meant a lot of recoil actually. So the people that were wielding the cannons were pushed back a lot. The recoil could not resist the recoil, and they were also far more expensive than muskets. Like per every 10 muskets you could make like less than one of these cannons. They were so expensive. And they were also harder to reload due to the fact you had to put a lot more gunpowder and a pretty bigger shell. So you had to like have a perfect body if you're going to pick up a ball like this and put it in there and then manage to shoot it back again. Well, this idea wasn't great, you get it. And then so they decided that it cannot be man-wielded, so they had to invent something that they can move it, resist its recoil, and be able to reload it easier and faster. So which led to the invention of the cannons and artillery that we know today. They put two wheels and they put some kind of support, and then they put the cannon on the top, which actually led to the creation of the world's first ever cannons. It was actually movable, it was portable, you could move it from this area to the other area of the battlefield, which would give you an advantage, and it could be reloaded far faster, could have also had a bigger barrel than the hand cannon, due to the fact the weight was not going to be on a soldier, it was going to be on a support, which actually meant that it can tolerate a lot of weight, meaning that we can put a bigger barrel, bigger ball, and more gunpowder in there. Means the cannon was a perfect design for warfare from long range or from close range. So they decided, they made this idea, and then the long journey of gunpowder through cannons started. So they later on managed to make it so that like you can move it with horses. They made it like have bigger and different calibers. Like smaller calibers were easier to move on the battlefield, while larger calibers delivered more devastating force than smaller calibers. And so there were a wide variety of them, and larger calibers had longer range due to the fact more gunpowder would have been fitted in the barrel, and meant a lot more gases and more velocity, meaning more range and more power delivered. So that's enough for today. We dived deep into the journey of gunpowder throughout Europe and the invention of cannons. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the war bell to be notified of the rest of the wars that occur on the channel later.